magical?
Yeah!
Do you hear, guys? It's so magical. Welcome to Sherpodcast, where life, laughs, law, and leisure are combined in absolutely no organized fashion. Thoughts from inside the Sherpa. No Sherpologies. This week's episode, let's dive right in. Tiger King. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Sherpodcast. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while. I went on a really nice ski vacation where I completely ignored the coronavirus. Like, when we left, it was not a big deal. Like, it was not a big deal at all. It was still, like, people, like, weren't sure about it. And then when we came back, it was, like, all hell broke loose. And literally, I traveled through 2 international airports, and it was the most terrifying event of my life. I mean, I wore my ski glove. I basically wore my ski suit, and I made JR wear his gloves. He's like, why do I have to wear my gloves? Like, we were fully suited up the whole way home, took everything off, just like immediately sanitized ourselves, and have been on lockdown since. So, like, this whole thing, obviously being an immune compromised person, this is like my worst fucking nightmare, is like this horrific pandemic. Like, I never thought this would happen. And, yeah, so my anxiety's been like 100, and, I've been trying to like put content together for you guys, but like, I was so stuck. I'm like, this isn't like funny. No one cares about this. And then America got the hero that we may not have thought we needed, but that we definitely needed. And that hero is Joe Exotic and the Tiger King. Thank you, Netflix. So, things I'm liking, obviously, #1, Tiger King. And basically this whole episode is going to be centered around the Tiger King because there's so much to discuss. I had to write tons of notes. Here I am with my little 2 cubs. Look at this little cub. Take a picture with this cub. Repping my Bubby t-shirt because I love him so much. Other things I'm liking right now, I mean, it's like coffee, adult coloring. I finally have the book. I showed you guys, like, look at this. I'm basically an artist. You have a page and then you copy the page. It's very calming. I haven't done that one yet. I think that's pretty good. Like, maybe I should frame some of these. Would you guys be interested in buying them? I'll sell them for like 99 cents. Or if you send me some more of my ginger beer, they're like blackmailing me on Amazon. I spent like $16 on a 6-pack for my ginger beer because I need it. Other things I'm liking, my dogs. I honestly, if I had to quarantine without my dogs, I'd probably have slit my wrist right now in the bathtub. I know that's morbid, but we're going into Tiger King, which is extremely morbid. So if you're under 18, don't watch this episode of Sherpodcast. You guys, no one has really prepared more for quarantine life than the Sherpa Lady. Like, this is my everyday life, except I can't go to Publix and Target, which is upsetting. Like, I really miss those places. It was a huge move that I bought the Peloton prior to all this because I've been crushing it on the Peloton. And yeah, those are the things I'm liking. I also, okay, so my conservative, like, really religious friends are not going to like this, so don't listen to this recommendation. But there's this book, it's a New York Times bestseller, Many Lives, Many Masters. And if you're like kind of into crystals and essential oils and spiritual things and wondering about like life after death and things like that, this is like such a great book. Like, this actually, because I was so scared for a while about like death, especially with this pandemic, and this book has like really relaxed me. And I'm not even going to go into it because people will be like, you're crazy, but just give it a try. It's called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss, MD. He's like legit. He's not some crazy person. He graduated from the best from Columbia and Yale. So, he's legit, but it's about like how he works with regression therapy and, with his, you know, patients. And if you have mental problems, look into it. I am. So, like, let's get into this. Tiger King. Like, where do I even start? It's the first couple episodes kind of trick you because you just turn it on and you're like, what is this? And I watched this last Friday and / Saturday morning, and I'm ahead of the curve. We're all talking about curves now, blah, blah, blah. I was ahead of the curve. I've been literally harassing every single person I fucking know to watch Tiger King since Friday. And it is insane. I've been waiting, like today is the first day the memes started coming out, and I'm like, yes, I've been waiting so badly for like Tiger King memes, and I can't get enough. But so like for the first couple episodes, I warned people. I said, they fool you. You're just like, oh my God, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like this gay threesome wedding, like their pink shirts, like these tiger people, this underworld of freaking, you know, tigers and exotic animals. And then it gets really dark. And then it turns into a true crime story, a federal takedown with the FBI and the federal FWC, which, like, I'm like, true crime, this couldn't get any better. There's murder involved with fucking Carol Baskin, and it is the best thing I've ever seen. Yes, does it get dark? But I'm all about dark. I mean, I listen to serial killer things like 99% of my time, so this isn't like a huge, you know, shocker for me. Am I sad about the tigers? Yes. Like, obviously, like, going into it, breeding and, you know, doing that stuff with tigers is never going to be like a good thing. But they didn't even really show like the animal cruelty part that much. They really just show like how effing weird all of these people are. So, I mean, really, like, my God, everything I like, weird ass people, just insane shit, true crime, darkness, all in one show. It's basically my show. So I'm going to start off with the highlights because there's some things that, like, I thought about that people have missed. We kind of skipped over the fact that, like, Joe Exotic was doing mall tours. Like, that's how he first got his beef with Carol Baskin, because she started shutting down his mall tours. He was touring as a, like, he had animals, but he also was a magician with that little boy that they later showed as a man who was, I think he was, like, holding, like, a cat or something creepily. And he was like 13 at the time. Like, what sane parent is like, yeah, I totally will let my 12-year-old, 13-year-old son tour with you in your RV with your prison husband? I'm just saying, that child was clearly, there was a lot of sexual assault happening, and you can tell how weird he is in that one tiny little clip they show of him as an adult. He's like, it's my magic. I was doing the magic. I was teaching him how to do the magic. I mean, but like, imagine mall tours, and it's so weird. So he's doing the mall tours, and my first thought, like, watching any of this, hold on, happy hour, guys, cheers, is that who goes to see this shit? You always see it on, like, the highway when you're driving, like, living in Florida, there's tons of, like, alligator farms or swamp experience. I have zero interest in doing any of that. Like, I don't want to see your swamp. I don't want to see your neglected animals. Like, I don't even like petting zoos. I haven't been to a petting zoo. Like, my son is going to eventually want to go to a petting zoo. I don't like any of those places. Who is going to these places? Like, and then, you know, Joe Exotic just keeps being like, look at my tiger cub. Take a picture. Oh, take a picture with the cub. Take a picture with the cub. And the cubs are like, "Meow," and the people are just like, you really need that picture? What are you going to do with that picture? Oh, look at me exploiting my tiger cub. Like, the cub is not happy. No one's happy. It's just fucking bizarre. Who goes to these places? I'm sorry if you have gone to one of these places. I'm judging you for going. Okay, so then they hire the lesbian Kelsey, who gets her arm, like, pretty much immediately bitten off by the tiger. And, like, I mean, talk about a real hero. She's back to work in 5 or 6 days. I mean, when I worked at the state, like, if you got, like, a broken arm or leg, you were out for, like, a month. And that was legit. Like, you needed, like, the time to heal. 5 or 6 days for an entire arm amputation, and, like, Kelsey was, like, back with the tigers. And I also am just like, what is her pull to all of this gay male meth clan? Because she clearly has no involvement in that. There's nothing here for her. So I decided, really did just love the tigers. But Kelsey is, I mean, I would hire her. She came back to work 5 fucking days after being mauled by a tiger. So I also loved watching that experience. Yes, I was worried about Kelsey. But Joe had this jacket, and like there are some memes about it now where it's like when the government said, or when the governor says like we're going into a death status or whatever we're at right now, coronavirus shutdowns, shelter at home, and they showed Joe with his makeshift jacket. Like he had to have that made. Like that's not just like something you order online. Like that like makeshift EMT jacket that he wore during like Kelsey's whole fiasco, where he's like, move over, the helicopter has to land here. Like it has like the cross and everything. That is made of leather. Like he clearly had anticipated something like this happening, and he like went back and outfit changed for the whole process, which I thought was insane. And I love when he like goes into the guest store and people are like buying all the merch, and he's like, yeah, you have to leave. Sorry, someone just got mauled by a tiger. And those people were just like, okay. Like no one was even that concerned. Like what is happening? I know it's in Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma. And I will tell you after this, I never am going to Oklahoma ever. Many reasons. Okay. This was a very disturbing part for me on like so many levels. The Walmart meat truck. Like not only do I just see like tons of like bologna and disgusting meat like just being poured out of this truck. First of all, like the workers, like Eric Cowie. Eric Cowie is my favorite personal person in this entire thing. Eric Cowie, that's my fan favorite. I've claimed him. He's like, yeah, this one is still frozen. I'm like, that's what they eat. They're like, first the employees get the first pick of the expired, disgusting Walmart meat. Then they feed the rest of the tigers. Like, it's so gross. Like, watch the Walmart meat truck, and it like haunts me. It haunts me still, the truck. Then we get to meet this whole other group of people named Doc Angle and his cult in South Carolina, and it's so crazy. My sister-in-law sent me a picture. I'll put it up. Naomi and her doctor boyfriend went to his like camp and rode on bubbles in the river. Like again, who goes to this? I have no desire to ride on bubbles. Like I know what Bubbles has probably been through and what Bubbles has seen, and I don't want to see it. Like I'm not going to any of these places. It's so crazy. Like yes, I totally like animals, and I'd go on one of those safaris in South Africa, but I am not, and like see them in their natural habitat, but I am not going to like South Carolina to see a poor little elephant go in the water. He is weird as hell. You can tell immediately by his eyes. They're creepy. And he obviously has like, I mean, like that came as no surprise to me. His group of women. And, he renames them from like Sam to, Tarzania. And all this stuff. And it looks like they're on some kind of drugs too. Not meth. Maybe like, I don't know. Like lots of Xanax all the time. They're all super happy, but apparently they work like 14 hours a day like slaves. And I mean, I'm personally offended by Doc Antle, if I'm saying that right, Doc Antle, his sleeveless shirts. Like he had my arms do not look great. That's why I don't wear sleeveless shirts for you guys. This man's arms are so disturbing the whole time. He looks so gross. And all I can picture is him with those disgusting women. Then we get to talk to Barbara, who's the escaped woman. But I also am like, okay, so like, you escaped from the cult, and I get people get drawn into cults, but like, what was her dad thinking when he dropped her off there and said, don't hook up with your boss? Like, you're dropping your daughter off at a cult site. Like, they all start as teenagers. It's like a requirement. This is insane, guys. Like, it has been rated since this, but more for animal cruelty things. Like, he needs to be rated for, like, child sex slavery. I mean, it's just like, there's so many mind-blowing things. So she's like, I'll always love Doc, but I mean, she's like, oh, poor me, I had to get fake boobs. And, you know, she didn't seem that sad about it. Just saying. IJS. And she did look good afterwards. So, I don't think she'd had them removed. She did keep that from Doc Antle. Anyway, Barbara was a sketchy character for me. Going on my list. John Finlay has been number 1. It was very distracting because it's like, okay, Netflix, and John Finlay, to be honest, probably has never heard of Netflix when he got out of prison, was like, all right, we're going to interview you a lot for this. What do you want to wear? Every time, he's literally wearing no shirt, the same sweatpants, and like just like letting it all out there. And it's really even hard to focus on his body at first, because you're like, what's happening with the teeth situation? Like, there's like a tooth here and here and here. It's like a pumpkin that you carve for Halloween. 3 teeth max. So he was just born the bad set of chompers. And then we get into we meet Travis, who's the young California guy. They have the gay threesome wedding, which again, still at this point, I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. I love this. This is so funny. Like, the dark side had not really been revealed. But their wedding was also like so creepy. Like, the blanket that was given to them with like all of their faces on it, the photo shoots that took place. I mean, how much time do these people have? Like, they had a lot of professional photos taken. The music's like not all that bad. It's really not. I mean, as far as country goes, I don't hate it, but I also think Joe Exotic like saved America from this coronavirus. So the next favorite moment. Oh, we also have to talk about Carol Baskin. Like, I hate Carol Baskin. I hate that she's like pretending she's a cat savior when all she does is like, she exploited cats and then fucking killed her husband. I mean, like, I get it. It's hard to prosecute no body cases, but I've listened to 5,000 Datelines, and there are a good 500 guilty verdicts on cases with no bodies that were 1,000 times weaker than the case of, what's his name, Don, her husband Don. Like, she 1,000% killed Don. There's no question anybody in America's mind. Like, come on, Hillsborough County, get your shit together and prosecute that bitch, because she's just sitting on Don's money. Honestly, the only sane people in this entire documentary were Don's ex-wife and kids. Only sane people. Like, only normal looking, only normal seeming. Don clearly caught a rough break with hooking up with Carol, because she killed him, 100%. And, God, like, she's just such a bitch. And like, her kitty, hey kitty cats, hey kitty, like shut up. Like, again, I'm not a cat person, so like, I already don't like her because of her cats, but it's just too much. Her disgusting closet of like, it looks like her closet and what she wears looks like the what people wear on the plane ride from New York to Fort Lauderdale. That's exactly what it looks like. She's like, oh, my luggage is always easy to spot. I'm like, honey, it actually would be hard to spot your luggage if you're coming from New York, because many women have that same Leopard bag. But that's just kind of like anti-New York right now. I really don't want them infiltrating Florida and giving us all corona. So, Carol, I don't like her, don't trust her. She doesn't even pay her employees. Like, they're like talking about Joe, like, yeah, he gives them $100 a week and they have to eat meat out of a Walmart truck, but like, she doesn't even pay them at all. Like, where are these women coming from? Like, there's no part of me that's like, yes, I want to work on this animal, on this cat rescue place. It's not even nice. Like, they're not living in nice cages. They live in like shit. And that's what I want to do. I did volunteer at the Humane Society and read books to dogs for a while when I first moved here and I had no friends, but that's a totally different situation, I think. And the dogs really liked it. Moving on. There's some pieces of information that I need to tell you guys that are mildly disturbing. Not mildly, this is extremely disturbing. Joe Exotic was one time a police officer, like a sworn-in police officer in the city of East Vale. I can't remember if it was Kansas or Texas because his early life is very confusing. He moved around a lot. And according to this source, which is thetexasmonthly.com, he was promoted at age 19 to the police chief. Now, granted, the city only had or town only had 4 people, and he was the police chief. But still, like, the fact that this person was a police officer is horrifying. And I think he was fired because all it says is then he tried to commit suicide by running his police cruiser over a bridge. So he probably was removed at that point for being a police chief. But that is terrifying. So he also operated multiple restaurants, guys. He operated a pizza place called, it was something like Zoo, I don't know, something to do with his zoo. And it's just gross to me that that man would be preparing food. Your pepperoni pizza, your shit all came from that Walmart meat truck. That's disgusting. He also had a couple husbands prior to John Finlay and Travis Maldonado. And they also died under sketchy circumstances. One died of a infection at the facility, the zoo, which is not shocking to me at all because it's disgusting how they lived. But it's weird. He also had a very close relationship with his brother. He had 4 siblings, one brother. It started with a G, I don't remember. It's a weird name. And he always would have at all his weddings he'd light a candle for his brother. So his brother was there at his wedding. And I think his brother bought him his first cat or something like that. The alligator, okay, so then now we start getting into the shit is real episodes. We meet this Jeff Lowe character who is so creepy and what the fuck are you wearing, Jeff Lowe? You're 50, you think you're cool. I think he's wearing a do-rag with a hat over it, a Dickies hat or some other thing. He thinks he's a skater. I don't know what his deal is. And he impregnated a 20-year-old girl, which is so creepy. And I feel so bad they're having a daughter because he'll probably sexually assault her too. 100% and then pimp her out. And my friend Robin brought that up and I was thinking the same thing, but she hit the nail on the head. He's definitely gonna pimp out his daughter because that is the type of person, this horrible person Jeff is. And then that's when Joe starts losing it. Definitely when Travis died. They say it wasn't a suicide, but I'm I honestly feel he didn't even care about living at that point. Joe had just kept him so full of meth. He was sad. I feel he didn't even care. I mean, maybe it wasn't a straight up suicide, but it was just a matter of time. And that's when Joe really starts to lose it, bringing me to my other favorite part, when Joe starts running for president/governor. And he's in the tiger cage and he's rambling about himself, and the tigers just start going after him. And I was just so hoping that it would be that scene from The Lion King when the hyenas turn on Scar and they just eat him. But it wasn't. And he started yelling horrible things at the tigers, shooting at them. And that's in my heart when I knew that he abused the tigers badly. I was oh my gosh, they're turning on him. They know he hates them. This is just going bad. So he starts to lose it. He even sets fire, and I mean, I know they didn't say this outright, but he definitely burned up his own alligator house or whatever it was, housing the alligators. And like, I'm not that upset because I don't love alligators, but he definitely did that for insurance money and to be able to like frame Carol Baskin for doing that to him, even though it was clearly himself. I don't know how, like, what's happening in Oklahoma. I mean, we talk to the sheriff a lot. The sheriff is scared shitless of Joe, which I don't blame him. Joe's wild Joe Exotic. But like, any investigation, I mean, like, someone could have come out there and definitely proved it was probably like there was an accelerant used. Probably, like, if they sent it to a lab, said what kind of accelerant was used, and probably found it in like Eric Cowie or someone's fucking shed. I mean, it's not that hard. Like, this is not hard police work. They just like didn't give a shit. They're like, fine, Joe wants to like burn down his alligator house. We're gonna let him. So, gosh, there's just so much to digest. This is another problem I have with Oklahoma. He got like 19% of the vote for governor. That is way too high. Way too. Who are these people? And they were showing people that voted for him. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Oh my God. Like, again, not going to Oklahoma. I also love how his campaign manager, he's like handpicked him from the ammunition department at Walmart. He's like, yeah, this is gonna be my campaign manager. And the guy took it like so seriously. He's like, oh, it was so hard to work with him. It's like, really, what other campaigns have you worked with that were easier? You're a 19-year-old manager at Walmart. So many things. I also was really disturbed when John Finlay tried to get his tattoo covered up, the one that said private property of Joe Exotic. But then it like didn't even cover it up. Like, he basically had a big cat put on it and it didn't even cover it up. So what was the point of that? Like, that's like a sensitive region too, and he got all that shit done and like still you could see what it said. You know, I don't know. John Finlay, he actually, if you look, he looks a lot better now. I mean, not good. I would never say he looked good because I've seen him shirtless so many times. He has a full new set of teeth. So there's that. He did get a full new set of teeth. He does look a lot better. And he's probably still with the girl he left Joe Exotic for, the one at the front desk. He was apparently sleeping with the whole time. So he's like, yeah, I wasn't gay. And I'm like, yeah, but you kind of were. Like maybe you do like women better, but you also like were very gay for a long time. I would say he's bi. I mean, come on. He was looking like he was having a lot of fun in a lot of those pictures. Oh, come back here, little tiger cub. I've got my other little tiger cub right here. Oh, yeah, I'll take a picture with this one. Again, so weird. Who does that? Like, I do not want pictures with tiger cubs ever. Okay. Jeff Lowe, blah, blah, blah. Again, we start getting deeper and deeper. Oh, and I forgot to totally talk about Mario. His last name is like Tabru. The drug kingpin guy that has that like huge animal sanctuary in South Florida, and he actually was kind of my favorite. Like, I think he liked the animals the most. They were all very well taken care of. Like, they lived in his house. He like loved on them. He wasn't like making any money off of them. But he also had like zero qualms with being like, yes, there was a body that somebody killed, and I had no problem chopping them up and burning them on my property. But he got out on appeal, so that's great. He's like, 12 years of my life to the government for no reason. I'm like, no, you literally just admitted to the crime, but you got out on an appeal. Anyway, he's living his best life with those animals, and he actually was not that bad of a guy. I mean, besides like the fact that he murdered tons of people probably and trafficked cocaine. I mean, we're talking about like the worst people of the worst, so in the scale, he's not that bad. So then like James Garretson comes out of kind of nowhere. I'm still confused. Like, he's just a strip club owner from Dallas. I don't know how, like, he starts hanging around the zoo. Maybe he was Jeff's acquaintance. I don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that for me. He starts, like, getting involved with the FBI on this murder for hire scheme to kill Carol Baskin. And, you know, he starts kind of, like, I guess, encouraging it. And Jeff's encouraging it too because she sued them over the trademark thing, and Joe has no money, and Joe's really just like going batshit crazy now because of that and Travis's death. And it's just super weird. Like, his hair is also awful. I mean, it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a grown out bowl cut. Like, I don't know, but he did have a moment, and I think maybe my second favorite moment was him on that jet ski to Eye of the Tiger. I have no idea how it tied into anything, but it did show him just living his best life on that jet ski, probably in the Gulf off Alabama. So then we start getting into this whole plot. And my issue with the whole thing, like, yes, all of these people deserve to be in prison, but I feel like Jeff Lowe is, like, way more responsible than, like, Joe. And I've read the text and stuff, but, like, Jeff was, like, really prodding him on the way. And it's Jeff's handyman, Alan, who is terrifying to me. Like, he doesn't even know what like, none of us know what day it is right now, but, like, during normal times, he doesn't know what day it is. He doesn't know who he is. He's done so much crack, he has 3 brain cells left. And, like, I don't even know, like, did Alan ever make it to Florida? He doesn't remember that he did. I think they had cell records saying that he did go to Florida. I don't know if he ever did. Like, Joe did give him $3,000, although I didn't see the evidence of that. I mean, he clearly got money because he was, like, spending it at strip clubs. But Alan, I also, like, other people have pointed it out now, but again, when he chose to be interviewed, he just, like, got into this tub. And I'm like, why do you need to be interviewed in this disgusting, probably, like, Motel 6 tub? It was disturbing, and he's creepy as hell. So, I guess he was the hitman. My whole thing is, like, if this was really all Joe's idea, Joe has been to Florida multiple times, like, to Carol Baskin's facility. Like, why wouldn't he have just killed her then? Or, like, done it himself? Like, I feel like Joe is one of those people, it's like, if he's gonna kill you, he's just gonna outright do it himself. And have no qualms with it and be like, F it. I don't get why he's hiring. I think Jeff really encouraged the hitman idea. And Joe is just so, like, spent and, you know, down on his luck that he was just like, yeah, I'll go along with it. Again, like, totally deserves to be in prison. I just don't get why. I mean, all of them need to be, except Eric Cowie. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Eric Cowie. So then we get, sorry, there's so much I have to keep notes. I also want to note that, like, that guy the whole time, Rick Kirkham is his name, is this, like, black hat, you know, he thinks he's, like, some crazy cowboy. He's, like, in all black. He's, like, drinking at this bar, like, telling us this story. I guess he was filming them for a long time, too. But his stuff got burnt up in the alligator fire, which is another reason why Joe probably did it. But, like, he's very disgruntled and angry, and I really don't understand his point in this whole thing. I guess he gave us some background information, but his information was also, like, highly biased. And then we also have John Rinke, the manager, who had prosthetic tattooed legs. And he also was, like, super rational. And I think he also must have loved the Tigers because he had nothing, you know, he had no interest in what was going on there. He just was, like, all business. And I also, my favorite moments were Eric Cowie's interviews during this whole thing because he was just, like, so disgruntled. Like, he was just, like, you know, my favorite part, you know, they said, my friend sent me a clip that says, when one of the producers asked him, he's like, how many wives does Doc Antler have? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. And he has this like blonde hair. His hair, he has good hair days. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of was a little bit gel. His hair looks better than mine does some days I'm quarantined. And he just like the whole time he's angry. Like he was like, Joe's be a fucking car. Like he's just angry the whole time. And then we really see the unraveling of Eric Coe during the trial. And again, from that article that I already said, the Texas Daily article, he was the first witness called by the prosecution. Okay, you guys, so I don't know if anyone's ever done jury selection or been, you know, like been a juror being selected. I've never been a juror, obviously, but I have selected many juries, and I cannot imagine, and this is federal too, so like you go into a state courthouse, you still have to go through security and stuff, but it is super relaxed compared to a federal courthouse. A federal courthouse, there's snipers on the roofs, like there is like no, there's no bullshit. Like I'm very scared to go into a federal courthouse and I have nothing on me or anything, and I'm like, oh my God, are they gonna think this pen is a weapon? Like it's like terrifying. And so it's like really serious shit. So you think you're going in there for like some serious thing. Not that this isn't serious, but like this is the case you're handed. As a juror, I'm just like, I don't think I want to live in it. I don't think I want to be alive in these times. Like this crazy, and of course he testifies. I mean, come on. We all knew Joe Exotic was going to testify. But like, again, as a prosecutor, a former prosecutor, the witnesses you get are usually terrifying. They're usually, like, especially for some of these crimes, you know, it's like drug buys with CIs. Oh, they're all drug users. So you're always terrified. You're like, who is this person? Like, are they going to come to court sober? Like, let's hope, let's try. But you never can predict it. So I can't imagine how terrified this prosecutor was to call all these people. And starting off with Eric Coe was a bold move. And when he talks about, like, that's when he really starts losing it, and he's in the hotel room, like, rolling about in the bed, like, rolling his eyes, talking about how he, like, looked the tigers in the eyes when they were shot, and it was just so sad. Like, it was so sad, and poor Eric, like, I wonder how he's doing now. I tried to find him on Instagram, and I couldn't find anything. Also, I mean, Tim Stark was the random monkey man that like came in at the end, and he tried to make something work with the zoo with Jeff, but of course Jeff screwed him over too, because Jeff screws literally everybody over. So like it didn't work out with him, but he was more of a monkey guy. And I love in the beginning how they're like, the tiger people, you know, are kind of, you know, we understand them, but the monkey, the primate people, they're a little off. And he was a little off. I mean, let's be honest, like his primate or monkey, whatever it was, chimp, had tons of different clothing, and he's like, who's making these clothes for your chimp? Also at Doc Antl's farm, or whatever the hell it is, compound, he had that whole room that was that Doc Antle? No, I think this was the drug kingpin. His wife made like all these special outfits for the chimps, and it was just weird. I mean, like, I have a couple outfits for my dogs that I'll put on for pictures, but I stopped that even a while ago. I'm like, they're too old for this. They don't like it. They hate it. Like, these people are next level. So that's Tiger King. I haven't gotten over it. Like, I'm so sucked in. I think about things all the time. It's like taking me a while to process it. Like, different things keep coming up for me emotionally. Do I hate Joe? Do I feel sad for him? I don't know. What do you guys think? I want to know your feedback. He definitely belongs in prison for the shit he did. But also, where would we be as a country without Joe Exotic right now? Because he's fully entertained us for a good week. And will continue as more people, you know, the curve's only going up with Joe Exotic. Even my Peloton lady today, my instructor on the Peloton, was like, have you seen Joe Exotic? Oh my God, Tiger King If not, it's a must watch. And I'm like, wow, even the fitness people, they're into Tiger King. Shit's getting real. So I don't know if anything can top Tiger King for like a week, for next week. Other things I'm doing, just to wrap it up. Hannah and Tyler from The Bachelor, Hannah B and Tyler. I'm really sad his mom died, but like his rebound sadness with Hannah is getting so annoying. I'm so over it. Like, ew, like just stop. I don't like them and I think they're annoying. I also think Maddie's annoying. Like, she's like, it's my birthday, and posted 3 of the same fucking pictures that look exactly the same, and she's in like a slightly different pose. I just don't like her. Like she's like, look at me bounce the basketball around, swing my hair. It's like, who plays sports with their hair down like that? No one can do that. Like, I would never have played sports like that. It's stupid. She just wants everyone to think she's cool, and she wanted to be the Bachelor, and she's not going to be. Don't like her. But that's either here nor there. Don't like Maddie, not a fan. Corona, who knows what'll happen with Corona? I seriously doubt we're going to be out of our houses by Easter. Like, if we're talking Easter 2021, possibly. Easter this year? Hell no. At least I'm not going to be out of my house, because I'm not going to go in, you know, some crowded place. No. It's going to be a while, guys. Like, especially in Florida. All my friends in Florida, New York and California are literally coming here right now to infect all of us. So it just sucks. So thank you, China. They knew about it a long time ago. That whistleblower guy. It's so funny. I was texting my friend like in January, like, haha, did you see that China just like, not haha, but like about China and their communist government. Like that one doctor who's only 30, the whistleblower, he's really a hero, said that this virus was coming, and then he just succumbed to the virus and died. No, he didn't. China literally killed him. So thank you, China. Thanks for all of this. I think it was planned to call me a conspiracy theorist. Maybe I am. So also things to stop telling me to organize shit, because I'm not going to. The more you tell me, oh my god, you could totally like go through your closet, or oh my god, you could organize your makeup, or oh, you could take this time to clean out the upstairs, and no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do, like, I may have done it, except that you told me to, so now I'm not. Unless it's 4 months from now, and I literally have nothing to do, and I'm going crazy. So. Also, everyone has a home workout, including me. I'm sharing my home workouts because I have nothing else to do. But I just think it's funny. I'm like, wow, America is like really working out more than ever at home. Look how easy this is. We could have been doing this all along and not been obese. So, oh, little tiger cubs heard something. So, I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get this episode out. I don't know if it makes sense at all. I'm just like really giving you my raw feedback on the Tiger King. I've heard rumors there's going to be a 2nd season. That would be amazing, because like there's way more that's gonna happen. Joe's 100% gonna start talking in prison. And also, good news, season 2 and 3 of Love is Blind have been green-lighted. Oh, come here, little tiger cub. So they've been green-lighted, and like, I know at first I didn't like Love is Blind, but again, as I let it process and digest, I did really like it. I loved the reunion. And as creepy as Cameron is, I do like him and Lauren together. They've stayed together a year and they're super happy, so great for them. I guess the project did work. My cubs are coming back on the bed to hang out with me. Anyway, I hope you guys liked. I really don't hope you. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. Like, do I like Tiger King? Yes. Is it sad and horrible? Yes. But that's all I have to say. Peace out. Stay safe. Don't be out fighting people for toilet paper. And yeah, the Corona Queen is out. right, Jay, I'm done. Probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? I went up to Saratoga and your horse actually won. Baby, you flew your